You've probably heard before of how life-changing it is to have an experience in another country. We get so used to the conveniences that we have here in the United States and how blessed we are that we lose sight of how people really are living in the 21st century in other places. And maybe you've been to another country yourself and you've experienced this firsthand on the level of living that they have. And you know, I grew up in Brazil, in a third world country, and there were some difficulties there as well compared to the United States, but then I went to Cuba and the conditions there are very different. They're living far back into the mid 20th century in level of conveniences that they have. There's very little transportation is one of the things that we notice and we've talked about a lot. There's also a low level of electronics and appliances and things that we've seen them struggle with, the things that we normally wouldn't have to struggle or even think about these days in the United States. Everybody has got a nice oven, everybody's got big fridges and freezers and washer and dryers, and you know, we lose sight of how different life may be without some of these conveniences. You've probably seen this video of the lady that Maria was led to by the Lord to bless with a fridge, and she's going to be a blessing to her entire neighborhood because nobody in her neighborhood has a fridge. So she's able to be a beacon of light in that place, a very poor little area of Camalote in Cuba. So she's been benefiting from that greatly, and she's so grateful, she's so thankful to the Lord for that. And another thing that I noticed, and I think that the Lord has quickened us to make an impact in, are the pastors that host us. First, the first pastor who invited us and has gotten us our visas every time, Pastor Frias from Camagüey, and also Pastor Dixie's, who we've grown very affectionate relationship with, part of the family now, and they are in Camalote. Neither one of those families have a washer and dryer. Now, you can even get a washer and dryer in Cuba in two separate units. And the way that you can get things in Cuba is very peculiar. You can only get it through a website called Cuba Max. And because they are very aware that the people from Cuba don't usually have the resources and finances to buy those things, because there's no stores. You can't just go to a Best Buy and pick your favorite washer and dryer, check out the comparison and different benefits, see which one fits you the most or best fits into your space, and this is the most convenient in the different categories that you can buy them from and different prices. It's not like that over there. They have a store that is available to American families or international families for Cubans that allow the families in America to buy these things and send them to Havana, where they can then transport it to wherever they are in Cuba. So we have found a washer and dryer in this store, and I believe from the Lord that we are directed to buy a washer and dryer. Now it's one unit, you'll see here. It's a 1-unit washer and dryer unit, and it runs for about $1,000, and it gets delivered to Havana, and then they get it to transport it to wherever they are. Now, the Lord has directed Maria and I to do this, and we believe that even on our own, we would be able to bring this project to fruition within a few months. But we were really quickened to open this up as a project so that other people could take part in it and sow seed into this. This is an amazing transformational tool for them, especially because they host other pastors, and there are people that come into town and they wash their clothes. They cater to men and women of God who come in from all parts of the world, Puerto Rico and Russia and Canada and United States, who go over there. And they're still either washing by hand, or they have these little washers. They're small little units, and then they have to dry everything on hangers, on clothing lines, out in the open. So you can guess, you know, when we've been there, all of our clothes as we're walking by throughout the day are hanging on clotheslines. This actually would become a great blessing, not just for them locally, for their families there, but for all of the men and women of God who travel to come and visit them. this would be a major tool, ministry tool, if you would, to save them with time and save them with the labor that they have to use to operate in the way that they're operating now. So again, I'm believing that we're going to have a total of $2,000, maybe even some shipping or transportation costs, so it gets from Havana to Camagüey and Camalote, and have this completely paid for in a much quicker amount of time, and also give everybody an opportunity to sow into this, have seed into great ground, people who are devoted to the calling of God in their lives, who are full-time into ministry, and host many people of God, women and men of God, who come into the nation of Cuba to minister to the people there. And I know that they also contribute to the community in many ways, and who knows how much more time they will have to continue to bless their local communities if they're not laboring so much and spending so much time doing laundry, which is something that we don't even think about nowadays. And I think that the Lord wants them to come up in that level, or He wouldn't have been prompting us to do something about it. And we want to welcome you in sowing into this project. So if you feel led, on our regular form on the website, there's a little reason box that you can sow one-time amounts, and you can just put washer and dryer for Cuba. And that way, that will be assigned directly into that budget, and we'll take care of that for them, and they will be so pleased. By the way, they don't know about this, so don't tell them. This is going to be a complete surprise for them, and they're not expecting it at all. And it's just going to be a major blessing for them. So if you want to take part in it, again, you can go to our Give page. I'll put a link on to this email and this video as well. And you can sow there, or you can just message us and we'll give you different ways to sow as well. Be very blessed in Jesus' name.